Hey, this is your host, Rick Houston. Before we get down to business in this week's episode, how about hitting those subscribe, like, and notification buttons? With all that out of the way, let's get on with the show.
When you left juniors, didn't you go to Allen's first?
Yeah, I went to Alan Kulwicki's.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He had seen me around the racetrack. I was a hustler. He watched how I hustled, and he called me off to the side and asked me if I would come over there. So I did, and we worked together that year. And
Were you were a co-crew chief?
Co-crew chief.
Okay,
yeah.
with
Paul Andrews.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because he had hired Paul to be his crew chief, and he didn't want to put Paul back a notch. And I said, look, the name crew chief, whatever, that's just a name. I said, if he don't bother me, it's all good. Because I'll be honest with you, Paul wasn't really that knowledgeable, in my opinion, in the sport of Winston Cup racing, chassis setups and things like that. And like I remember walking the door at Quickies the first time, and I said, "Where's your Heliart?" And he goes, "Heliart? We don't have a Heliart." I said, "How you weld this stuff? You do everything with a wire and stick? That's awful heavy. How do you weld in aluminum? We're not welding aluminum." So I got him to buy his first TIG welder.
Wow.
Yeah. And we had a lot of ups and downs because I went back there twice. I worked for him in 88, worked for him in 89, 87 and 89.
Okay. So you worked for Allen.
Quickie, two different times.
Okay.
Like I left in 88 and went over to Darrell when Darrell went to the Dream Team. Not the Dream Team, but the Hendricks.
Yeah.
So
you went with Darrell to Hendrick?
Hendrick.
You did?
Yeah. Well, Jeff and so Hammond was already there, and they had that building over off Hudspeth Road. And I was working for Kulwicki, and Kulwicki said, because I had told him, I said, "No, how's our money situation?" He said, "It's not very good."
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, I've got a chance to go make a little money," and that's the way it was in the sport back then. You had to go where you could make a living. So and Jeff and them wanted me to come back over there to do the same stuff I did at juniors. So I went over there with them for the 88 season.
Went with
the Tide. With Darrell.
Right.
And then at the end of 88, Kulwicki comes to me, and I think he was getting Z-Rex then. And he said, "I got some more money. I want you to come back." So I did. I said, "Okay." So I went back to him because I helped Alan get his first pole.
Yeah.
And turn things around, you know. And like I said, I was a hustler in the shop and things. And Alan liked that. Turned out he didn't appreciate it maybe as much as he should have.
Didn't appreciate
my skill, what I was given,
yeah.
What I was given to him. Yeah.
How did you pick up on that?
Just the way he talked to me. I could tell he started disrespecting me a little bit. And I'll be honest, I'll sit here and tell you the truth, and there may be some of the fans that won't like what I say. But we were there at 1:30 in the morning working on a car, getting ready to go. And he calls on me on the phone, "We'll know where we're at, how the setup's going." I said, "I about got it set up and all this stuff." And I could hear all this noise in the background. And I go, "Where are you at?" He was in a club in Charlotte at 1:30 in the morning. And we're all there at the shop working. So we get the car done. And I said, "Boys, let's go ahead and load it. And we'll get here an hour and a half later in the morning. Get you some good sleep. The car will be loaded. That way all we'll have to do is load the bottom and we'll be ready to go." So he comes in 11, 12 o'clock, eyes all red, and goes, "Where's the car?" I said, "On the truck." He said, "I want to go over to setup." And I said, "Well, you can go over to setup when we get to the racetrack because I'm not unloading that car." Had you not called me from a bar, you were at a bar at 1:30 in the morning, 5 of us are in here busting our butts trying to get this thing done. And I said, "I don't appreciate that one bit." And he said, "Me and you need to take a ride." Because he had that little shop with 800 feet, 1,000 feet square, whatever it was. So we get in the car and we ride off. We go up to a little parking lot. They're all for public drive, and he parks and he starts talking to me. And he said, "Look, Bill," he said, you need to do what I say do all the time." And I said, "Well, how's that right? You hired me because of my ability of what I know how to do and all this." And I said, "So I have to take the ball and run with it." And I said, "If you're not there, somebody got to take the bull by the reins, and that's me. I've always been that way." So he said, well, I got to tell you, I don't want anybody working for me who doesn't put me before their family, God, or anything else in their life. I'm number one.
No, he did.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And I said,
Wow.
God strike me dead right here where I'm sitting. And my words to him were not family, not work, whatever. I said, you never say that about God. God has to be number one. Now, I'm not sitting here beating no Bible because I don't do that. I'm a faithful person. I'm a believer. I've had miracles happen in my life. And I know they're there. I know it's real. And when he said that to me, I said, we're done. Because I'll never put you above God or my family or anything else. This is a job, Alan. That's all it is. And I said, and that's what I said to him. I said, and you don't even take it as that. You're too busy. You're wanting to party and live up that life rather than concentrate on his team. I said, if you was really worried about the setup on that car, you'd have been right there in that shop with us. See, people never heard none of that stuff, and I never said it. You're the first person. This is the first time publicly I've ever said it. And I've said it to a couple people who knew us close. Because if anybody ever scanned us at the racetrack, I was hard on him. I was tough on him. I honestly look back, and I love Ricky Rudd. And I wish Ricky and I had gotten together when I was young, first started out. We would have been. There's no doubt in my mind. But I wish I'd have been as hard on Ricky as I was Alan. I really do. But see, I respected Ricky's ability to drive. He respected my ability to crew chief. And we only once during the whole time did we ever step on one of those toes.
We'll get to that.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the part of Kulwicki. And then, I hear so much made of Ray Evernham went to work for Kulwicki. So we show up at the racetrack. I don't remember what year was after that, but I guess Ray had left Bill up in who was it? What was Bill's last name? I can't believe this.
Bill.
The 22 car. Davis. Bill Davis.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had done Jeff's Bush car there, the Baby Ruth car. Anyway, he ended up leaving there for whatever reason. I don't know those circumstances, but he went to work for Kulwicki. He showed up at Daytona.
Well, he went to work for Kulwicki first.
Yeah.
Then they had some kind of falling out at Daytona or whatever. Then he went to work for Ford.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying.
Okay.
I saw him at Daytona with Kulwicki, and I was rolling through the garage here, and he had that Alan Kulwicki shirt on. I said, "What in the world are you doing?" He said, "I come to work for Alan." I said, "How long you been here?" He said, "A week." I said, "You won't make it through Speed Weeks." He said, "What?" I said, "I know him and I know you. You won't make it through Speed Weeks." And he did not make it through Speed Weeks. So, and I laugh because I have laughed a couple of times. I heard people talking about Ray, other broadcasters, and they'd say, "Well, he worked," giving him kudos. And you got to give him credit for he had a lot of success with Hendrick and Jeff Gordon. And they would say, "Well, he worked for Alan Kulwicki," and all this. I'm going, he didn't work for Alan Kulwicki. He worked around Alan Kulwicki for about 5 days. He didn't get through tech because Alan didn't want somebody to stand around directing. He wanted somebody in there touching the vehicle. And Ray's deal's always been management, I guess.
Yeah,
calling shots rather than getting in there and getting his fingers dirty. And once he got to the Cup side, so I just laughed. I knew he wouldn't make it because I saw him on Sunday and he had on just a plain shirt. I said, "Ray, where's your AK shirt?" I said, "Say no more because I've been there. I know."
How'd he go? How would you spell that?
Yeah.
Do you know what happened? But that Ray left.
I honestly don't know what happened,
okay.
but I can figure it out. Because, like I say, I worked with Alan. I know how he was.
All right.